Hi, my name is Deirdre. I am a middle school teacher in New Jersey, and today I'm going to talk about Google Classroom, specifically posting to the Google Classroom. So we're going to start by making sure you're logged onto Google, and then we're going to go to classroom.google.com, and it will open up to your classes for your Google Classroom. So the first thing I want to do is show you how to create an announcement. And what I'm going to do is go to one of my classes. This is a class I use for all of my students. I have 53 students in this class, which are all of my 6th grade level students. And the reason why I have a separate class for my activities versus for my actual class periods is because for this Google Classroom, what I usually do is only post announcements and things that won't be graded. I use this class as more of a way to give the students information or to present them with a link or a video that will not be graded. And I'll show you why in a little bit. So I'm going to create an announcement for this class. And I'm also going to show you how to link it so that another Google Classroom also gets the same announcement. So for this, on the right-hand side, you'll see a plus sign, and then there's an announcement, an assignment, create a question, or reuse a post. So I'm going to create an announcement. And when I create an announcement, really all I'm doing is giving information to the students. You can type a lot of information on here. I find my students have trouble reading the directions from these announcements, even when they're in English, not Spanish, like I'm a Spanish teacher. So just be aware that sometimes kids don't really follow all the directions unless you really point them out. So I'm going to title this announcement IPA Rubrics and Description with Resources. Since my students have they have something coming up, an end of the unit assessment. I want whatever I'm posting here to also be posted to one other classroom, which is my 7th graders who are in the same level as my 6th graders. So I can see I have 2 classes selected. I know I selected it because it's checked off. And I'm already in this classroom, so this one will also be checked off as well. And notice here how it says saved. These announcements are being saved every couple seconds, and it's appearing right here as a draft. So if I accidentally click this off, or if I lose it, for example, I'll show you how that would look. I can still get it in the draft. I can click on that and then open it up again, and it will still open up. So if you are doing it and you click it off, it will still exist in your drafts. So I have 4 options here. I can attach a file from my computer or from my drive. I can attach something from the Google Drive here. You can look through it in your folders, or you can just start typing it, which I'll show you in a second. I can link a YouTube video, or I can simply use a link and then click add. So what I'm going to do is, I just deleted it by accident, so I'm going to go back in and open that up. I'm going to link it from my Google Drive, and I'm just going to search for the title. IPA, there it is. And I also want to post the link to the resources page. So what I'm going to do is now I'll show you I can do another drive link if I want to. 6 Unit 2 resources. And that link will come up. But right now I want to show you how I would do a link instead. So I'll go to this document, I'll go to the share button, and I will copy the link and then click done. Now that link is copied, and I'll go back to the Google Classroom and I will click copy and paste, and I will add that link. And now this link will bring them to the resources document. Whereas if they click on this, they will open up to the IPA description. So that's how you would create, and then you click post, and it will immediately show up in the students' streams. So they can access this and they can also get the information that they need. The next thing I want to show you is an assignment. So I'm actually going to go into one of my classrooms for this one, my third period. This only has 25 students. And the reason why I do that is because I also post announcements here, but I usually, for example, I will post in this something more specific that I want the students to be working on. So this is an example of I give them a presentation, a Google Slides presentation, then I choose each student will get a copy. So in this, you can actually choose if a student can only view the copy, if the student will get their own copy each to edit, or if the students can edit whatever you put here. So there are 3 choices when you make an assignment and when you're posting something. This is what I gave to my students. So they were able to get their own copy of this. And then what they ended up doing was their name showed up at the title automatically, and they were able to manipulate this document. However, I still had the original. So this is not due for a couple of days, so that's why none of them are done. But I can show you here if I click on them, these are all my students' work. So all listed here is each one of my students, and you can see by clicking on the document how much they've completed since the time you assigned it or since the time you offered it to them. So my students have been working on this throughout the unit, so there should be, hopefully, something on the student's file. Yep, and there he is. He started this. I gave him my examples, but he took it and he added more to it as well. So he's good. He's well on his way. Now, another cool thing is that for each Google Classroom you have, on your drive will be a special folder just for that class, which again is why I have separate classes, because all of my third period students now have this document in a special folder that's on my drive and only on my drive. Here's a link for the Google on my drive. There's the Google Classroom link, and I open that up, and then I have all of my classes in here. I've made a special folder for the school year because next year I'll have more different classes. And inside this 2015-2016 folder are all of my classes. So whenever I post an assignment for my third period, this is where I can go in and I can see the different assignments that I've already posted. If I want to check in on them and see how they're doing on this assignment, that's where I would go. If I want to go back and see how they're doing on the Google Sites assignment, I can go in and check on that one, or I can go back into another classroom. This is where you can go find out where you are. Sometimes it can be tricky with a lot of different folders. So that's posting an assignment. And once I have an assignment in there, once you have an assignment, you can also assign points to it. So this is for the infographic one. You can see all of the infographics. And eventually I'm going to need to give them a grade for it. It will be worth 25 points, so I simply go in and change it to 25. You can also make this ungraded. If I now make this ungraded, what's going to happen is, are you sure you want to update the point value? So if you've already graded certain things and given them back, and then you change the point value, students will have to be notified. So I'm just going to click updating. And now any students who I've already graded will be notified, oh, she's not graded, it's not graded anymore. But I actually want it to be worth 25 points. So I'm going to go in and click 25. And again, it will ask me if I want to update the students. So once the students are done, they will actually submit their work to me. And it will show up as done. All of these will show up as done. And then I can start adding points to it. Once you've given all of your students points, or if you are done with, let's say Arjun finished his, let's say Arnav finished his, and let's say Erica finished hers, I can then click return and the students will get notification that they have received a grade. And they can go in and check feedback. So that's posting an announcement and an assignment. In the next video, I'm going to talk about creating questions and what happens after you post things. And thank you very much for your time.